It's not fair for Stick 'em Mincy to have all the fun. Let's get out there and roast the rest of the Neopets. I put a call out on my YouTube channel a couple of times to get your roasts for your favorite or least favorite Neopets, and you guys sent in some hilarious suggestions. So let's go ahead and get started. When the Neopets team runs out of ideas for a new Neopet, they just take a regular animal and put antlers on it. Acaras hide their aquatic nature because they look silly when they swim. Not all baby Neopets are owned by Karens, but all Karens own baby Neopets. Find the lie. I'd never heard a truer statement. There are two types of Neopians that own baby Neopets: literal children and Karens, the only people. Bories have barnacle backs. And I know this isn't like roast a commenter, but I'm used to like seeing usernames that are like Luna Wolf or like the kid who games. I love it when instead it is just like a person's name and like a professional looking picture of them, because we are adults in the Neopets fandom, and Katie O'Dare just is coming for the Bories because they have barnacle backs. Chias are just unfinished Bruces. Are they? Or are Bruces just over-designed Chias? I'm interested in this discourse because the obvious criticism of Chias to me is they are like sack plants. They are disgusting. They are an edible item, right? It is deep lore on neopets.com that loops want to eat Chias. Yet nobody's going for the obvious here. We're talking about the design of them, which is funny. Ever since I've heard this, that Chias are over-designed Bruces or Bruces are over-designed Chias, I just can't unsee it. I can't undo the connection. If drakes were regular pets, they wouldn't nearly be as popular as they are. They're just a brand name. And then Attack on Full Metal says, I mean, they def cool looking though. I'm a little bit mixed on the Drake debate, to tell you the truth. I like the idea that they're just a brand name because that kind of gets to the point of like what they bring to the table. But I think there is a little bit of a something to them. Remember when we were going to get a cute llama pet, and then instead we got that. Let's be honest, the Llama Leah transition to Norbu was one of the top 10 anime betrayals of all time. If you own a Jub Jub, I'm concerned. I stopped liking Jub Jubs as soon as they stood up, and my kind of question there is, how can you tell when a Jub Jub has stood up? Because when they are seated or when they're in the standing position, they're the same height, right? Like, there's no leg going on there. Kikos, just Kikos. That's mean, but also Kikos don't deserve their own lake. Kikos don't need a roast because their whole existence roasts themselves. So I know I've gone kind of hard on Kikos in the past. I've been working on a Kiko video for like 13 months now, and the Neopets team pulled the rug from under my feet by releasing the single best Kiko design ever by a fan artist. So shout out to the Neopets team for really just subverting our expectations with the Moroccan Kiko launch. Crocs and Drakes are only popular because they're limited edition. And then Crocs I would agree with, but Drake slap. So there's a lot of controversy in the Croc versus Drake versus regular pet fandom. I'd love to hear your input. Crocs are just lame wingless Drakes. The Kiri is a ferret with a mullet. My appreciation here is that this isn't even a roast. This is just an observation. This is just a fact. This is just truth. They are mullet ferrets. I love them. I really like the Kiri design. One of my favorite Neopets. But it's true. It's a ferret with a mullet. I think the Lutari's heads are too small for their bodies. And can I just say that if we still had like dark Neopets, because you know in the beginning Neopets was like a little bit dark, I feel like we would have skinned Lutari stuff everywhere. Like we would have like Lutari scarf, like Lutari fur scarves and stuff like that. And it makes me sad that we don't. Unconverted Mirka have the ugliest tails, so thin and lifeless at the end. Plus they are dead behind the eyes, extremely unsettling and creepy. Mirka are unsettling and creepy. However, I've I vastly prefer the unconverted Mirka to the modern day Mirka. I thought it had just so much more character. I really liked the whimsy of the original Mirka. That's your Mirka facts and opinions for today. This is oddly specific, but Mirkas look like the cartoon version of Ricky Gervais from The Ricky Gervais Show. Whether that's good or bad is up to you, but you can't deny the resemblance. This is another one of those things that when I heard it, I was just like, it's true. It cannot be denied. What's the difference between Ricky Gervais and America? There is no difference. They're the same man. Mohawk have zero good paintbrushes and aren't interesting pets. Bold. Unconverted pets are overrated, and the true power player status comes from having the MSPP avatar. Sure, but is it really about power? You come near my poogles and it's your head. That being said, Scochios, 100% sure I said that wrong, are legitimately just dragons, and that goes for a lot of other stuff in Neopets, like Grarls. They need to be canceled ASAP. It's that they need to be canceled ASAP is the part that gets me about the Scorchios and the Grarls. I'm pretty sure most people just forget about Grarls. Yeah, there's just a straight up dinosaur. Poogles look like they were launched straight into a wall at birth. Tonus are ugly no matter how you paint them. And then our friend Knuckles Skinner comes in with, y'all have paintbrushes? The only good unconverted is the Yuzuki girl Uzo because she looks like the actual doll and her battle alone poses are great. Meanwhile, I try to dress up mine and nothing looks right since cute clothes are in a completely different art style. Just let me convert her already, TNT. She was made years after the change happened, and also fuck using the black market to get one. I appreciate the energy. I had an unconverted Izuki girl, and I did convert her when conversion happened, and I'm right there with you. I would love to get the unconvert option for Yuzuki girl Oozles. Vanagars are obnoxiously ugly, over-designed, and its name is unnecessarily exotic. If TNT wanted to add a panda Neopet, they should have just made a panda. I think the name is structured the way it is because they couldn't just call it a panda with a V, and they needed a Neopet to have a name starting with the letter V so that they could fill out the whole alphabet. And yeah, I get you. I agree. It doesn't match the same artistic sense as the other Neopets. I feel this. Walkies and Saibunnies are literally the same, just one is a cat and one is a bunny. I would like to close on this note because never in my life did I think that anyone would ever come at Walkies and Saibunnies because they are literally the most average, plain, standard Neopets in the whole of Neopia. But no one is safe from the roasting of Neopets. Like and subscribe.